Inside Sports, with your host from the University of Oklahoma, Bud Wilkinson. Presented by your National Guard, America's missile-age Minutemen. Trained, equipped, and ready to defend you and your country. On the ground, in the air, in any local or national emergency. Now to give you an inside look at some of the nation's most popular sports, here's Bud Wilkinson.
Hello, everyone. It's certainly good to be with you again.
Bud, this is basketball season, and a lot of young boys and girls are trying to play it. Now, sometimes you hear parents wonder whether basketball is too strenuous for a young boy or girl. How about that?
Well, I don't believe that it is. It is a rugged game, a lot of running, and you get tired when you play it. But the purpose of engaging in athletics really is to develop one's physique. You don't get strong through inactivity. And young boys and girls who do engage in competitive sports similar to basketball do develop their physiques, and I think that it pays great dividends to them in their later years.
The city sleeps, a quiet, trouble-free, dreamless sleep. For in this city, as in yours, there are those on the alert for instant action. These are your National Guardsmen, important members of your country's defense team. Fully trained guardsmen who are ready, willing, and able to protect you in case of any state or national emergency. They are on the alert day or night at fully equipped Nike bases, radar control centers with tanks and infantry, in modern, up-to-date jet aircraft, proud members of your Army and Air National Guard. Sleep well tonight. Your National Guard is awake.
Bud, what's the big difference between basketball and other sports?
Well, I think that the major difference is that all men on the team have to do almost every fundamental equally well. In football, for example, the duties of the lineman in the back are radically different. The lineman blocks or he plays defense in a very confined area, whereas the back is handling the ball all of the time, throwing it, catching it, running with it, and there really isn't too much that is alike about playing the different positions. But in basketball, all 5 men on the team have got to be able to dribble, they've got to be able to pass the ball well and to shoot well. It's that balance of fundamentals, all men doing the same thing, that I believe makes basketball a little different team game.
Well, I guess the first thing to learn is then how to shoot. Is that right?
Well, I guess we're all offensive-minded, but I think the first fundamental in basketball is how to catch the ball. If you'll toss it to me, Howard, I think that I can make the fundamental of the catch clear. The first thing is to keep the fingers of the hand spread and to keep the fingers loose and relaxed so that the ball will cushion into the hand. If you're nervous and tense, your hand is stiff and hard and the ball will hit it and bounce off. But if it's soft with the fingers spread, the ball will come in and just cushion in there and you'll be able to catch it very well. Remember to keep your fingers spread. They will cover more of the ball surface. If they're closed and tight together, you don't get enough of the ball to really catch it effectively. If you follow those little tips, I think that you will be able to catch the ball well.
Well, then after we learn how to catch it, then the next thing to do is learn how to shoot, right?
Well, I don't think so. Getting the ball down the floor requires passing, and I think that learning to execute the passes really is next in importance. There are 4 basic passes in basketball. The first and most common, of course, is the chest pass. The ball is held about chest high. It's delivered with a little push of the arms and fingertips, the ball leaving the fingertips so that you have fingertip control. And if you're going to throw it a long way, of course, you must step forward to get a little bit of the body in. The second pass that is almost similar to the chest pass is the bounce pass, where you want to get the ball past a tall man quickly and you bounce it on the floor. The ball is delivered in almost the same manner with fingertip control. The next pass is the most difficult for you young basketball players to execute because of the size of your hand. It's the baseball pass, where you simply take the ball and throw it. You lay it on your hand, hold the ball high, and then just throw it down the court, just like you throw a forward pass in football or baseball. That's how it gets its name as the baseball pass. The last one is the overhead pass for short work in close quarters, where you simply flip the ball from over your head, keeping it high, to your teammate. Let's go out on the court where Doyle Perrick, one of America's great basketball coaches, has 4 of his players to demonstrate these passes. The first is the chest pass. As you can see, the ball is grasped in 2 hands and delivered with a push off the chest. The players take a step forward as they deliver the pass to give them a little direction and also to put a little more momentum on the ball. In making the pass, the ball should be grasped in the fingertips, and as it is thrown, the ball should leave the fingertips last. This gives you fingertip control, which ensures accuracy. Let's watch the chest pass in a setup scrimmage drill where the man breaks past the post after receiving the chest pass to hit for the 2 points. Let's watch the chest pass in the game. Whitey Skoog of Minnesota makes a beautiful chest pass to Hutchins of BYU, who is up and hits. This is the bounce pass, and the execution is exactly the same as the chest pass. However, in throwing the ball, it is well to put a little reverse English on it so that it will rebound high. With backspin, which is put on by having the thumbs come under the ball as it is thrown, you get a high bounce. If the ball were to have overspin, it would be a low bounce, and it would be hard to handle. The bounce pass in a drill. Movement drills like these ensure a player's ability to operate well in scrimmage. Now the bounce pass in a game. Dick Bunt of NYU makes a beautiful pass to Solomon, who bounces it back to him. He's up, and the basket is made. Now the baseball pass. This is exactly what the term describes. It's a one-handed throw, exactly as you would use it in a baseball game. However, a basketball is a large object, and very few people can pick the ball up and throw it with one hand. Consequently, in making the pass, the opposite hand must place the ball on the throwing hand. Again, the drill where the players learn to execute the pass while moving, as they will in game competition. The baseball pass executed beautifully by Whitey Skoog in the College All-Star game. Skoog throws to Ernie Barrett of Kansas State, who makes a beautiful one-handed shot. The overhead pass or overhead flip is used mostly to get the ball into the pivot man or on a fast break. The ball is held above the head and simply flipped with the wrist and the forearms. In this drill, the players are practicing the overhead pass into the pivot man, who fakes and gives to one of his teammates as he breaks past. The overhead pass in a game. The shot is missed. It looks as though the ball will go out of bounds, but a beautiful save is made. Al Servey making the fine overhead pass, and again, a basket results. The players now will execute all of the basic passes. This one is, of course, the chest pass. Now the bounce pass. Try to get a little reverse English on this pass so that the ball will rebound high. The baseball pass, very effective for moving the ball down the court on the fast break. The overhead pass or flip, especially good to get the ball into the pivot or post man. It also is an effective fast break pass where you do not have to throw the ball for a very great distance. And moving into the game competition, fingertip control is the important thing in all basketball passes. Notice how the ball leaves the fingertips of the players at the last moment to hit the target accurately.
Well, Bud, we found out how to catch the ball and how to throw it. Now, are there any definite plays a basketball team uses?
Well, yes, there are, but they're sometimes difficult for you fans to distinguish because basketball is a game of continuous motion. Now, many of our games, like baseball and football, have what I termed stop motion. In baseball, for example, the pitch is thrown, and then the catcher will throw the ball back to the pitcher, and everything stops. The outfield may shift around a little, the infield come in a little, the pitcher will look all around to be sure he's set, and then he'll deliver the ball, and the play starts. But in basketball, everybody's moving all the time, and that constant motion makes it difficult for you to see the pattern of the play. But every play in basketball is based on screening. By screening, it's a movement of the offensive player to set up a block which will leave him free, his defensive man not being able to follow him while he shoots. For example, if this man throws the ball into the pivot man and then follows his pass, going around the pivot man, the defensive player will not be able to get through the screen that will be set up. The pivot man will then be able to turn and throw the ball to his teammate, who can make a layup shot. Let's go out on the court and watch the Minneapolis Lakers execute the cutoff pivot play. All basketball plays have various options, and the Lakers will demonstrate them here. George Mikan, player of the half-century, is the pivot man. Vern Mickelson has the ball. He passes into Mikan, who fakes to Mickelson and has Pollard as an alternate. This time he gives the ball off to Pollard, who is up and shoots. Pollard has the ball this time to throw it into the pivot man Mikan. Mikan fakes to both men, turns and makes a beautiful pivot shot. These screening maneuvers set up the different plays in a basketball offense. Once again, Mikan faking to both men and shooting. Notice his form. This play in an actual game shot. McCauley fakes to both men, and Easy Ed makes a beautiful pivot shot to score. Mikan on that play, as you noted, faked to both men and then made a bounce pass back. Now let's watch Big George execute the same thing in actual competition. Vern Mickelson has the ball. An overhand pass into Mikan, who makes a reverse bounce pass to Pollard. The ball is on the rim, but it goes through. The Lakers are really a great team.
This is a battery of mighty Nikes, our new defense against an enemy attack.
Right now, many Nike bases are manned by your National Guard.
These bases circle the major cities of the United States and our territories, guard you against the unexpected. The National Guardsmen who man these bases are men of great skill in the art of rocketry. They must learn quickly the many skills necessary for this tough job. This is one of the many jobs your National Guard does to protect you in case of a local or national emergency. They are all volunteers, ready, willing, and able, constantly on the alert. The National Guard is an important member of your country's defense team. Be proud of them, these Guardsmen. They're your team.
Bud, the way George Mikan and the rest of those Lakers make basketball look so easy, they must be naturally gifted.
Well, they're great players, and when you people see them play this winter, as I hope many of you will, you'll be amazed at how simple they make those great shots. But you young basketball players must remember that they have spent countless hours of practice before they were ready to play in big-time competition. You know, when you work hard every day, you don't get much better day by day, just a little bit. But when you put that sincere effort over a period of time, you're a great deal better at the end of the year. You can accomplish almost any goal if you're willing to prepare yourself and practice long enough. It's been awfully good to be with you, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.
Inside Sports with Bud Wilkinson and Howard Newman is directed and photographed by Ned Hoffman and is a Bud Wilkinson production. Inside Sports is brought to you as a public service by this station in cooperation with your National Guard.